What's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about how to speak faster in English. And I had it April 16th, 2020, and we are in the midst of large-scale quarantine. Most of you are at home, stuck, bored. Hopefully these lessons will help fill your boredom a little bit. There are so many things that are out of your control in this world, but you are in control of your mind and how you spend your time. So at TST Prep, we've decided to make a lot of our lessons free. So over the next 2 months, April and May 2020, we'll be releasing a bunch of lectures almost every day. So tune in, subscribe. Thank you for being here. And I'm really excited about the lesson today about how to improve your speaking speed. So let's get into it right now. And let me share my screen. Okay, and let me go to present here. Okay, so how to speak faster. So this is for students who are advanced level English language learners who are trying to get to the next level of their English. You're trying to, you speak well, your vocabulary is pretty good, but you can't string things together and everything is kind of separated. So you want to try to speak a little bit faster. So we're going to talk about some ways to do that today, some strategies for doing that. So our goal is you're going to use thought groups to help you link words together. You're going to learn how to shadow audio files in a way that improves your fluency. And you're going to adapt some specific practice activities at home so you can improve without a speaking partner. Okay, so we're just going to get into that. All right. Oh, also we're promoting our accent evaluation. So for $9, usually $29 for May and, I'm sorry, from what month is it? April and May. We're gonna be doing this for students, just for people who want to know more about ways to kind of get to that next level of your speaking. If you feel like you've plateaued and you can't get much further in your English speaking, you wanna get to that next level of fluency, you meet with one of our teachers. This is Sue, and she will let you know your strengths and weaknesses, certain sounds you have trouble pronouncing, and some activities you can do at home to help you build those skills. All right, so that's at TST Prep, and that's our Accent Builder program where we have specific activities that you do every day with Sue, with a teacher. It could be another teacher as well, and that those build your skills so you can speak more comfortably and naturally. All right, so tstprep.com, check it out. Let's get into the lesson, how to speak faster. Now, the first thing we have to talk about is some fancy words, syllable timed language and stress time language. So a syllable, for example, my name is Josh, my birth name is Joshua, so Joshua, that's 3 syllables, Josh, 1 syllable. Some languages are more syllable timed, which means that you give equal weight to each syllable. So for example, Joshua, I say Joshua, 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 Joshua. So the stress time language, which English is a stress time language, those languages, the syllables don't have equal weights. So we kind of bring some syllables together and say them shorter than others. So Joshua, Joshua, Joshua. So the first one is a little bit longer, Joshua, than the second 2. So that's stress time. Stress time languages, syllables have different speeds depending on how important they are. So if you come from a syllable timed language, it might be hard for you to speak kind of quickly because you are used to pronouncing each syllable. Okay, so let me know, by the way, in the comments below, do you have a trouble with speaking speed? Do you feel like this is a problem for you, or really it's not a problem at all? And why do you think this is a problem? So it's really important for you to say like why you think this is a problem for you. And also, I just want you to know that it's okay to have an accent. It's okay to speak, you don't have to speak like me or anything like that. The goal here is if you're not happy with your accent or the way you speak and you want to speak a little bit faster, these are some activities that can help you do it, all right? So anyway, let me go to improving your speaking speed. The first thing you can do is work on shadowing with thought groups, okay? What is shadowing and what is thought groups? So let me talk about thought groups first. So thought groups are basically groups of words that all stay together in one breath. So for example, I like to drive. When I say I like to drive, I don't take a breath. I don't say I like, to drive. I like to drive. I don't say that. I say, I like to drive. I like to drive. Not, I like to drive. I like to drive. So one thought group. This next one is two thought groups. For example, I like to drive. So it's a little pause, taking a little breath. For example, I like to drive. Next one is going to have three thought groups. For example, I like to drive, which is a hobby of mine. Now these have commas. They don't always have to come after a comma, but that's one popular time where a thought group ends. So basically the idea here is that you should be bringing words together when they're in a thought group. You don't want to say, for example. You want to say, for example. You don't want to say, I like to drive. You want to say, I like to drive. I like to drive. You don't want to say, which is a hobby of mine. You want to say, which is a hobby of mine. So you want to bring these things together. Now that's easy to say, a lot harder to do, right? So you need to kind of practice with this. You need to listen to some examples and try to copy the way that they're speaking. So if I just read this first sentence here, to me, I definitely do not think that coworkers make good friends, because it's best to keep your work and personal life separate. There should probably be another space here, work and personal life separate. But you can see how a lot of times these thought groups end with a noun or a verb. This is a pronoun to me, or a comma here. I definitely do not think that coworkers make good friends, noun, because it's best to keep your work, noun, and personal life separate, okay? And so these are some examples here of thought groups. Now, how do you know where a thought group is? So it's really hard to do, right? We have some activities at our Accent Builder program that are specifically made for this, because we haven't been able to really find a website that does thought groups. If anybody knows one, please let me know in the chat or in the comments. I'd love to give it to students. But so we've made activities that actually kind of break up sentences into their style. So to me, I definitely do not think that coworkers make good friends, because it's best to keep your work and personal life separate. So you see here, there's more than just the thought groups, right? I have some words like me, definitely, friends, and personal. Those words are bold. Anybody know, why do you think? Why do you think I made those words bold, where it says me and definitely and friends and personal? What do you think? Well, I'll tell you, since I'm here alone. So basically, there are words that are stressed. To me, so I don't say to me, I say to me, I definitely do not think, so definitely stronger. I definitely do not think that coworkers make good friends. Friends, make good friends, make good friends. Because it's best to keep your work and personal life, separate. You could emphasize different words, but usually it's called stress, and you should usually stress nouns or verbs, and those are the ones I stressed here. So when we have students and we give them an example, we give them some audio, we give them a sentence and say, okay, look at all this stuff, and try to copy it the same way. If you look at the part highlighted in gray where it says to me, right? Why is this highlighted? To me, and why is this highlighted? It is best to keep. Why do you think these are highlighted? What do you think? Well, they are highlighted because they are phrases that come together. So I don't say to me, I say to me, to me. I don't say it is best to keep, I say it's best to keep, it's best to keep, it's best to keep, it's best to keep. So I bring these things together. Right? And the last one, separate, this is, this is underlined because my intonation goes down. So sometimes your intonation goes up and sometimes it goes down. So here it goes down, personal life separate. So you want to try to find activities like this to help improve your speed and improve your kind of like what we call speech music, the way that you speak English. This is more of an American style of English, just so you know, okay? It's not like this is the right way or anything like that. You can speak a lot of different ways. But for some students who really want to get their accent to a kind of American style, this is the style that they usually speak in. All right. One thing that you can do is that you can identify common reduced sounds. Okay, so let me give you a couple of examples of that. So I just wanted to show you kind of what's highlighted and what's bold and what each one means. Okay, hopefully you get that. And that's in the Accent Builder program. So for example, I am going to go to the movies. I'm going to go to the movies. He went to the store. He went to the store. Now you've probably heard this before. You've probably heard teachers say that you need to reduce sounds. You need to bring words together. It's pretty common advice. So the problem is that you don't know when to do it or how to do it. Okay, so that's the problem. Well, so let's talk about some of the common reduced words. So a lot of them are what are called function words. These are words that are important in grammar. Prepositions, articles, pronouns, conjunctions, helping verbs. A lot of times these words are not stressed. Again, they are not stressed. So we tend to bring them together with other words. There's a lot of examples. I really don't have time to go through all of them, and it'd be impossible, really. There's thousands. But here's a really good chart. We tend to pronounce middle T sounds like D. So what becomes whata. But becomes butta. That becomes thata. I'll do a couple more examples so you can see what I mean. What are whatter. But are butter. That are thatter. What aren't, what aren't. What aren't, yeah. But aren't, but aren't. That aren't, that aren't, that aren't. Let's do one more. He, what he, whatty. But he, buddy. That he, thatty. That was a lot easier. So this is a chart that you can see some popular phrases that take on a different sound when they come together. There's a ton of examples. My advice really is to just focus on one or two that you use often. Don't try to remember all of this. Don't try to remember every single pronunciation of all these combinations. Focus on one or two that you want to do well today. And you just focus on those one or two that you want to do well today, then you move on to something else tomorrow. Keep it small and focused. Don't try to fix anything today. Just focus on little things here. All right, so what are, maybe you want to try to say that, that's fine, use that one. And you could find specific examples on Youglish. So let's say, for example, you're looking for a what are. You go to youglish.com, you type in what are, and you will see hundreds of examples of videos with somebody saying what are. They'll have the US pronunciation, the British pronunciation, the Australian pronunciation, so you can hear a lot of different pronunciations, and you can find a voice that you want to try to shadow, that you want to try and copy, right? So you want to try to find a voice that you want to shadow and copy. Okay, hope that makes sense. Go to Youglish, and there's an example here for the word. So if I want to try to pronounce to the labs and calculated, but with the battery technology. So I can actually save the link, and I can go back and listen to this over and over and over again. And I can practice it again and again. So that's what you want to do. You want to focus on, this is a screenshot from Youglish. This is when I was looking at battery. You really just want to focus on a couple sounds each day. You don't want to try to fix everything at once. Just focus on one word, a couple sounds, a couple phrases that you want to say well today. Try them out, repeat them, record your voice, and then listen again and see how it goes. That's a really important thing, that you repeat this. Repeat, 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 repeat. I can't say this enough. A lot of pronunciation is about muscle memory. It's about what your tongue and jaw and lips and cheeks, what they remember. So you want this to be something that really helps you improve your accent, improve your speaking. It's not from listening to me repeating and like, okay, I get it now. It's not really like that. You have to get used to how your tongue, how your mouth feels when you're doing this type of pronunciation. Okay, and to do that, it takes practice. And so there's no way about it. You just got to kind of repeat the same thing a lot, record your voice. One activity that I'm going to share with you that I like is called Race Yourself. So basically, if you have your phone, you set your timer and you say, okay, I'm going to start speaking now. In a video posted to the Drive Tribe page on YouTube, the British journalist and the Grand Tour host details what he thinks is wrong with F1. Stop. And then I see the time. How long did that take me? Okay, let's say it took me 8.78 seconds. I want to try to reduce that time by 1 second or 2 seconds. So I'll try it again. In a video posted to the Drive Tribe page on YouTube, the British Journal, let me try again. In a video posted to the Drive Tribe page on YouTube, the British journalist and the Grand Tour host details what he thinks is wrong with F1. Okay, and then I timed to see how fast I could speak. Now what you're doing here is that you're trying to get your tongue and cheeks and all that stuff to make these sounds quicker, basically. And it's tough to do, but it's kind of like a fun activity, I guess. You know, it's one of the, this is not very exciting to find a sentence, repeat it, record your voice and listen to it. So trying to find something that's a little bit more engaging, a little bit more interesting. This is one activity that I often recommend to students that I think you'll find helpful. But you know, when you speak faster, you're going to notice that your pronunciation suffers, okay, because you're trying to speak fast. So you want to try to balance the two. So it is a really good activity. You could just do 1 sentence a day with it. And that's really the kind of overall theme I have for you guys, is to think small when you're thinking about your accent. Do 1 sentence, 1 phrase, 1 word again and again and again, and just try to build that 1 phrase, skill, word again and again. And it'll have an impact on other sounds and other phrases and the way that you speak in other parts of the English language. So yeah, and so why race yourself? It's short, fast, builds confidence, and it could be fun, maybe not, I don't know, but it's not so bad. So when practicing pronunciation, record your voice, repeat the same sentence at least 5 times, build muscle memory. A lot of accent, a lot of pronunciation training is about building your muscle memory, and the muscle is in your mouth. So you're used to building your muscle memory in your own language. To do it in English is a little bit different. So to get to that next level, you have to repeat the same thing over and over again. I hope you found that helpful. For the months of April and May, $9 accent evaluations. You can learn what you need to do to get your accent to the next level if that's what you want. And it's part of our Accent Builder program, where we do activities that focus on speech music, your intonation, your stress, the words that come together. So it really helps you build those skills. It's for those advanced English language learners who want to get to the next level. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much. Let me stop my sharing. So yeah, so times are rough. I hope that this is helpful, and thank you guys for joining me. And it's really special, actually. I'm really enjoying this. So we'll keep pumping out lessons for the next couple months. Looking forward to it. Thank you for staying, and tell your friends, please, you know, share links to our YouTube channel. It really does help. All right, take care, guys. Have a good day. Bye-bye.